morning. You get sleepy eyes. I woke up with y'all on my mind. We are back in the camper. So we're back in the camper. It is, I would catch y'all up real quick. Like I said, I woke up with y'all on my mind and wanted to share a few things. We are now in Rochester, New York. We've been on the road for 2 months. We've gone about 7,500 miles, and we've got 2 new tires for the Sequoia. We took the spare off the trailer and put it on. So I don't remember if I've said it at any point, but we have a bent axle on the trailer, which we've gotten checked out twice, and there's not much to do about it right now because it would be getting an entire new axle, which could be like an 8 to 10 week affair, and we would be back to Arizona in 8 to 10 weeks. So we were burning rubber on one of the tires because of the bent axle, but we could just replace the tire, and that's what we're gonna do. So we are safe, we are watching it, but that's what's happening. And then so that's just like, if you're watching to learn about camping and such, bless Tim, he is the maintenance man on the camper. He pays so much attention to the machinery. I'm kind of a dingbat when it comes to that stuff. Like, it's not the first thing I'm doing. It's not the thing I'm paying attention to. I'm just like, oh, look at the moon. Oh, look at that mountain. So we're having a lot of fun, and I am so grateful. I'm actually making this a part of this episode, but it's really kind of a reflection on the last 2 weeks in Whiting. And I am decompressing. Like, we drove away, we stopped in Flint, Michigan to visit some friends of Tim's, and then we drove all the way across New York. We're actually in I think this is Western New York, but it was a solid 7-hour drive from Michigan to New York. So here we are. We saw a lot of lake. I love the Great Lakes. I didn't realize how much I love the Great Lakes because I've always spent most of my time around Lake Michigan, but we're past Erie and we went between Michigan and Erie. And so, yeah, it's really beautiful. It's really lush here because of all the water. It's so green. And it's late August, so everything's still green, but I imagine you guys, like September in New England, we're going to get to see the colors change on the trees, so you'll get lots of cool video from that. The thing I wanted to share, what woke up on my mind that I didn't include in the Whiting trip that is just coming to me now to share with you guys, is a little bit of my sobriety journey. I went through, when we were home, what was so overwhelming or chaotic, I kind of shared a little bit about that in the tub in the last episode, is we did a concert, a professional baseball game. We saw the Cubs. We went to the casino. I visited a lot of family, just did a lot of things that, one, we just had a global pandemic, and I've been sober for a year and a half, no alcohol, no marijuana, and that's a big deal, and I'm really proud of that. And it was obviously a choice. It's been a choice, but it wasn't hard work to me. It wasn't hard. I do not crave it. And I chose that in February of 2020 and went through the pandemic, and there wasn't a lot of visiting. There wasn't a lot of events. And so when I was home this week, this was the first time I went to a Dave Matthews Band concert, which the Dave Matthews concert, a professional game, the casino, and then just a few other things like that. Those are definitely all times that I would drink or smoke and just sometimes be blackout, at a concert or something. Just transparency, because it was a real decision to become sober, and And this was the first time in a year and a half, and for some of those things, like closer to 2 years, that I was in those situations, not with a drink in my hand. I wasn't tempted. It didn't feel that way, and I didn't feel triggered. It was just, I noticed it was very outer body. I was observing what those events are like sober. I was observing myself in those events sober. And I was very chill. I was doing a lot of people watching. I was watching the actual event. I was like, do I like this stuff sober? It was just very want, you know? And I noticed myself slower. Like, I don't know if the word would be like more mature. You know, it's not like better than, but I definitely noticed the drunk people at the concert. I noticed the way they behave. I noticed people like pushing their way through line. I noticed at the baseball game, like the clappers and the hecklers and things like that. And, but then I also noticed that I was with some of my best friends in the world and having, and like my family, and then having an amazing time and enjoying watching them. Like, there's like a seeing it through their eyes. And I remember that about San Clemente. Like, anytime someone comes to visit me in San Clemente and I take them around, I see San Clemente through their eyes, and it's so special. And there's that's kind of something I imagine about like motherhood, is like seeing the world through my child's eyes and having such a new appreciation for all of it. And I definitely had a new appreciation for life sober, which I've had. I love life sober. And there's so much more to notice and see and take advantage of, or like include. There's much more space. And I love it, and I love it, and I love it. And I love that life. And I wouldn't say it's mandatory for everybody, but there is something really special in slowing down drinking. I noticed things about drinking that I appreciate giving up. So all that to say, it's really special. And if it's something that you think you struggle with, or something that you've been on the edge of, practicing sobriety is not the end all be all, right? Like you can, I remember it took me 2 solid years to actually become sober. I gave up beer at one point, and then I gave up beer and alcohol and marijuana and sugar and caffeine and sex all at the same time for 20 days. And then I was like literally levitating through life. I was like, oh my, I was so clear. And but I played mad scientist for a long time with what all of that meant. And so I would give up certain things at certain times, and then keep certain things away, and then slowly everything fell off. Like, I did not do everything cold turkey when it came down to real sobriety. So everything kind of like trickled away, and it was a 2-year process, but I knew it in my body, I knew it in my head, I knew it in my heart, and it still took time. And it also took some breakdowns. Like, when I would go home, I would get obliterated because I didn't have tolerance anymore. I thought I could keep up like I used to, and I couldn't. So I just want to normalize some of the process. And I definitely have a couple episodes on the podcast with sobriety, celibacy, in the podcast, that if you are someone who's interested and you're dabbling with that idea, those episodes might really help you out. And then I have a lot of posts about sobriety. So definitely some content. And if it's something you're feeling called to, go to heartsunleashed.com or abigailgaza.com and book a discovery call. And whether that's with me or one of the support coaches, we are here to support that journey. This is not always about business and entrepreneurship. I coach people around emotional intelligence and subconscious reprogramming. That's what the company is built to do, is help people be their best selves, based on what's right for them, what their heart and God is speaking to them. And so it's not always about writing a book or starting a business. I do a lot of that. I love to share a lot of that, but this is about relationship with self, health, wellness, well-being, finances, sobriety, all of it. And so just that word of hope, just that light shined, because it is a journey. I'm now a year and a half sober, and I still face things that there are to work through, triggers, temptations, just thought processes, right? It doesn't have to be bad. It's just like realizations and observations. And so to anyone on their journey, to anyone sharing that life and all of that, I acknowledge you. And to anyone struggling through a life of addiction, the last thing I'll share about this is when I was giving up addiction, I walked through life with this intention, relaxing into the adventure of releasing addiction of the body and mind. Relaxing into the adventure of releasing addiction of the body and mind. I held that intention for myself in my life for months. I still do. But first it was addiction of the body. Alcohol, marijuana, sex, whatever it might be. And then it became addiction of the mind. I started to notice the addiction of drama or worry or anxiety or concern or jealousy. Like there was these other addictions that came behind sobriety because I noticed I could numb out, or I could distract myself, or I didn't have to think those thoughts if I was just a little bit buzzed. And the way that I like to explain that is we hover our emotional rock bottom by staying just a little bit intoxicated, a little bit inhibited. And when we are completely sober, we have to face ourselves. And if we give those things up, we can land face first into our anxiety, our fear, our concern, our insecurities. And that's where other addictions lie. That's where the addiction of concern or worry or jealousy or whatever it might be will show up. But that doesn't mean they will be ever consuming it. Those things can't kill us. It's something to face. It's something to let surface, because if something's surfacing, it's coming up so it can come out. We must be willing to face those things in order to release them. And they are very patient. They will just wait their turn. We think we can suppress or stuff or compartmentalize them, but they'll just wait. They'll just hang out until we're willing to acknowledge and feel them, and then we can release them and get support and heal the wounds that originally caused those ways of being. So it's a place to look. It's something that I'd love to offer because there is life on the other side of addiction of the body and of the mind, and that life is pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and it comes with its challenges, but then you are someone who can be with those feelings. You can be with others who have those feelings and experiences, and maybe be a light yourself, be a guide, and live out the knowledge of being supported when you start that journey, and then supporting someone else in that journey as well. So thanks for listening in about that. I hope that this provides something for you, whether it's for yourself or someone in your life who might be struggling with addiction, or whether that's addiction of the body or mind. So enjoy that info. Stay tuned. We are headed into the second half of this journey. We also, newsflash, we extended this trip by another 2 weeks. We'll be going through mid-November before we land back into the west half of this country. So stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got 3 more months, and I do not know the mileage, but we got some ways to go. So stay tuned. You guys, love you. Catch you on the flip side. Okay, friends, I'm up here with Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Hi. And we are cleaning the top of the camper. 1, because it's probably overdue. 2, because was that Hurricane Ida?
Yes.
So Hurricane Ida we are in Woodstock, New York, and Hurricane Ida came through Woodstock, New York, and wrecked the place. Not wrecked it, actually just drenched the place. And we took on water in the camper. First I thought it was the fridge, but it happened to be coming up from, I think, that vent right there. Dripped down just a little bit because we got 3 inches in an hour. What else?
3.5 in an hour.
3.5 in an hour. And we are also here on Catherine's beautiful land, which she has spent the last 4 years beautifying. I wish y'all could see the beginning and after, but speaking of beginning and after, so that's kind of what the whole top of this looked like. Actually, we thought it was like a yellow canvas, but it's actually a white canvas underneath. So we started washing it. We are disinfecting it because we are going to paint it.
Yes.
Paint it with a sealant.
Yeah, it's a two-part rubberized sealant.
Two-part rubberized sealant. So Catherine is an expert construction. Like, you guys, this house looks like this because she did that. She's amazing. So she's helping us with that, and we're still learning lots of things about camper life. And this will be good for a couple years, right?
Probably 5 years, and
5.
then you can just re-coat the UV and you'll be good.
Yeah. And so it's going to help us seal anything that needs to be sealed and all the protection and blah, blah, blah. And it was probably just time to clean the camper anyways. We realized, I think we're close to 9,000 miles now. And we're, 9,000 miles in. Wow. Wow. And moving right along. So we've got 9,000 miles worth of dirt at least on the top of here. And then the other thing I realized the other day, I'm going to send you this sponge. I gotta get back to action, guys. You guys have quit distracting me. But we realized like this RV's probably only been in dry climate, so it was really nice to see that after like a full 24 hours worth of rain, we really only took on this little bit of water. So anyways, I'm gonna get back to action. See you later. Okay, for your OCD pleasure, I gotta sweep my way off here. So the ladder is right there. I'm gonna turn it around and show. That's the bathroom vent. That is the air conditioner. That is the Frigidator vent. And I think that's a toilet vent. Also, the mosquitoes have found us, so we have very little time. That is the stove hood vent. And we are all clean over here. So next up is paint. So we're gonna stand in a place that George Washington stood. This is my favorite kind of history. I got B's in history because I didn't like learning about it and memorizing dates, but I really do like walking around in it. Pretty fascinating. The oldest four corners in the United States of America.